Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello, doctor. How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
Hello,
What
doctor.
about you?
All
Fine,
is good.
alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Today, we are going to spend some time learning about yet another method of accounting in order to we're going to cover chapter 7. I uploaded already a reading based on Harvard business case. You can actually look into the book or that one because it has a lot faster because chapter is something like 50 pages and this document is only 10 pages. So I hope it's like a very nice catch up together with some examples and activities. In addition to that, I already placed the activities, the problems that I choose from the chapter to be paid attention for, to prepare again for the final exam. I hope that you guys are going over those questions on your own because not all we can address in class. How is the progress in regards of that? Hello, that's a question.
No progress.
No problem. The problem will start whenever we'll have one day before the exam, right?
I didn't say no problem. I said no progress.
No progress. طب يعني لا يا جماعة, I'm putting those questions specifically for you to, of course, I'm not going to be concentrating on every single point in the chapter, but at least the main things that we are covering. So the solutions are provided. Therefore, I'm actually expecting you to, masalan, go through the question, and if you are going to be having some additional discussion points necessary, so please start doing that. So even we can dedicate some time of our Saturday lecture. However, only you reading the question and understanding it will be some time, Therefore, I prefer like at least the first 2 chapters. Activities for the chapter 1, I don't believe that I put that many questions except the one that we did in class. For chapter 2, I also didn't put that much, but starting from the chapter 5, there are something like 6 to 7 questions. As well as for this chapter, there are around 6 to 7 questions. So please take your time before your Saturday lecture. I'm not putting it as a quiz. I'm not putting it as any challenging thing right now. But for me to make sure that you guys are in line with whatever is being covered, because it will not be wise at all to delay it all until the end of the our course, because we actually have around 3 weeks left, which is somehow sufficient time if you start from today. Okay, so please take your time, go through the questions, try to understand them, and then either in the beginning as you like, or toward the end of the lecture, we might be looking at some problematic areas that you might be facing, confusion points or something like that. Tamam?
تمام.
Tamam. All right, so who is speaking right now? Shaima, you were saying something?
No, just saying tamam. I
Okay.
already went through this chapter 5. I didn't check chapter 2 and chapter 1 as you said. It's just chapter 5. I went through the problems we make in the lecture and it was fine, but I didn't complete. That's the situation. Yeah. There is a
Okay.
small progress, not no progress at all.
Alhamdulillah that there is at least some of the progress yani. But as I
Yeah.
said, for chapter 1 and I don't believe that there are some activities for chapter 2. However, in chapter 1, the one that we did in class, I think majority of you were aligned with that. However, the catch was that each one of you were working on a certain question. So just make sure that you go through all of the questions to be able to understand. Majority of the exercises starting to come from chapter 5, 7, and so on. Yeah. At least for every of these chapters which are upcoming, there will be same number of the يعني problems given to you as so-called preparatory material for the final exam. تمام؟
تمام, but I think chapter 1 and chapter 2 يعني it was good.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. It's always good to hear All right, so today's chapter is looking at allocation of the cost in a little bit different manner than whatever we looked at in chapter 2. What do you remember in chapter 2 in regards of cost allocation? What did we do in order to account for manufacturing overhead cost? Anybody?
We calculated the cost overhead per labor hours or per cost driver.
Okay, that's correct. We estimated what was yani accounting department was giving to us the manufacturing overhead, and we divided by the either labor hours or machine hours, and after that we were assigning it to the product based on that. Now ABC based costing is going in a little bit more detail because يعني unfortunately there are some deficiencies in this cost absorption method that I was describing you in chapter 2. I will look into those problems, but the whole reason for the ABC costing method, although it is very tedious, as we are spending the whole chapter for that, it's very tedious method, requires a lot of departments to work on the certain areas on assigning the costs. However, once it's established, after that, it's basically just needs some kind of monitoring. And definitely, I hope that by the end of the discussion in this chapter, you will understand why some of the companies preferring this kind of method in comparison to the absorption cost method, simply since managers need to know better information whenever they are choosing which product to concentrate, or whenever they are choosing what kind of price do they have to set for the customers. So most of the time, the ABC costing method is preferred by the companies wherever the product so-called not homogeneous. If I'm making only one type of the potato chips, probably absorption cost method would be the easiest and more generic to apply without any problems. But since the companies are starting to offer more varieties of the product, it's like mass customization rather than mass production nowadays, in order to try to adhere to the tastes of the niche groups of the customers. Like we're seeing a lot of examples even in Egypt, whenever Juhayna started to create a lot of batches of soy milk, almond milk, and stuff like this in order to serve the customers who are having lactose resistance. We are also having the same story in regards of bread makers. They are starting to make bread which is more so-called organic in nature, brown with whatever ingredients. So as number of the products increase in their variety, unfortunately, not every single company is capable to use the same assumption of absorption cost method to count appropriately for every single cost driver. So I hope that the example that we will be looking at, especially after that, comparing what would be the outcome of the traditional method that was described in chapter 2 and the activity-based pricing method, there are differences which are maybe not meaningful from the perspective of financial statements. Financial statements will have the same results, but it's all about managers to make the decisions, as I already said, which product to concentrate more, which problematic areas do exist, and as a result, making decisions in regards of the general strategy of the company. So let's see how the traditional costing method is different from activity-based costing method. We will be referring to it as ABC costing method. Activity-based costing, ABC costing is pretty much the same story. When we are looking at the chapter 2, whenever we were speaking about absorption cost method, we were assuming that all of the manufacturing costs of the products, which is manufacturing overhead, they were basically assigned across all of the product lines without really difference, whether this product really used that manufacturing cost or not. Another thing is that non-manufacturing costs were also somehow ignored, because some of the non-manufacturing costs, like for example shipping, or for example contacting the customers, very often easily to be traced to individual product. Some of the products need more contact with the customers than the others. Unfortunately, manufacturing overhead just divides it across the line and does not go into that variances whenever it treats all of the products the same. Another thing is that when we were looking at the calculations, if you remember, we were only mainly looking at manufacturing costs, machine labor hours, as well as normal direct labor hours, which is somehow quite often limited, if you think about it, because there are some other costs that you will learn in the ABC costing method that might be directly related to the certain product lines. And if we will not account for them correctly, it might create this kind of faulty impression. So what ABC costing as a result doing completely different than the traditional costing? Again, we're using the same financial information coming from the accountants, but it is just for the sake of managers to make a decision. We will never reveal that to insider information of the company to somebody else, since it is enabling us to make decisions internally rather than externally. So with activity-based costing, we are looking at manufacturing as well as non-manufacturing overhead and asking ourselves one question. Did we use that in order to create that particular product or not? If we didn't use it, it simply will not be assigned, which is completely different to traditional method. In the ABC costing, we might be excluding some of the some of the manufacturing overhead simply because of the same logic. It's not related. For example, the salary of the manager. Yes, for the plant, مثلا. Yes, the salary of the manager is a high driver of everything. However, if this manager did not particularly observe this new product line, I will not assign his salary to this product line. So every single time it's a cost benefit or cause effect analysis. rather than just blind assumption. And when we are looking at another very big difference, we are trying with the ABC costing create different cost pools in order for us to more correctly account for what is exactly driving which kind of output by the end of the day. With the non-manufacturing, with the activity-based costing, with ABC-based costing, we are tracing all of the direct manufacturing as well as non-manufacturing overhead, which is related to the particular product which we are producing. For instance, when we are selling two completely different types of the cars, one is more complicated, another one luxury car, and another one is like so-called mass production. Probably the commissions related to the sales of this car will be much more important for those luxury segment rather than for the car which is generic car, since the customers already know about it and they don't need an extra education about it. So commissions, together with the shipment, together with the warranty repair, all of those costs are tracked directly to the product that is being produced. As a result, the company can actually calculate them much more specifically, and instead of just adding them and dividing it by volume, we are able to account for the costs in much more better way. So manufacturing costs in the traditional product costing is considered. Non-manufacturing costs in the traditional product costing somehow not considered directly. It is divided by the total number of whatever working hours or machine hours. And in ABC product costing, we're actually concentrating
Doctor,
on directly, yes.
I'm a little bit confused about how to decide if this non-manufacturing cost will be with us in the product cost, as there are a lot of types of non-manufacturing types.
I don't, I'm not surprised with your confusion, because every single company, there is no ABC way of doing that, you know. There is a general steps, I will be working through them, but every single company is basically putting the task force for each one of their department, which is analyzing every single costs and deciding, is this related to us and to which extent is it related to us. It's know-how of the company, sorry, of the people who are working on the floor and dealing with these costs. Okay.
Okay.
There is no book. There is no book telling to you, this is included, this is not included. No, the book is going to be your company by itself. Because whenever I'm producing two types of the computers, I know, and one, for example, if I'm a Dell company and I'm designing a computer from scratch based on the order of the customer, they want some kind of sophisticated solution for my system, which is running, I do not know, AI, cloud interface and stuff like that. Obviously, that customized solution is going to require some additional design of engineers, some additional parts which we do not use before. Electricity will be consumed in order to produce that computer specifically. Utilities will be consumed in order to produce this computer specifically. And we can actually trace it. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So it's basically you sitting and looking at the task or activity. That's why it's called activity-based. Every single activity is subdivided and analyzed by every single department. Who better than them knows? The manager on the top quite often doesn't know that. So most of the time, whenever we are trying to establish activity-based pricing, we do not sit and on the, from the CEO level and design it. No, we go into the our operations and involve the teams in order to make this analysis. and يعني create the list of their so-called activities that they think will be more important than others in order to account directly for the cost and start keeping a track, you know. It's very easy to be to understand, by the way, whenever we are switching from traditional to ABC. If the team might find out after 3 months of operation that they are more exhausted of tracking all of that and it's more waste of time rather than added benefit, we can always switch back to traditional. Tamam? Since it's only to give managers better understanding of what exactly is the cost level for every single product.
Okay.
Okay. When we are looking at the other differences, when we are looking at manufacturing costs, yes, previously we said that the traditional costing system is including manufacturing cost, however, and ABC costing system also. However, even with manufacturing cost, we do not actually allocate all blindly. Again, some of the manufacturing costs might not be related specifically to this product. For example, for producing something, I'm using an equipment which is only used to produce this customizable device. So obviously, all of the manufacturing costs related to all of the other products which are standardized, it's not going to be related to me. Why to assume that all of it is linked to my product? So the key on deciding when to go or not to go, whenever there is a sufficient assurance that your products are very, very different from each other and they consume different level of inputs. Okay. All right. With the calculations related for the traditional costing system, I already mentioned that we're having a very limited number of the cost drivers. Mainly we were using 2. However, with the activity-based costing, we are actually looking at the we are looking at cost pools, which are not really driven by volume. Because if, masalan, I'm having 2 products, one of them is not that labor intensive than another. Unfortunately, with the traditional costing system, both of these 2 products will be treated the same. Simply, it's only due to volume. So as a result, my product, which is not produced in very big quantities, is going, the statistics about it will lead for increase of the overhead costs whenever I'm producing less, and of the overhead cost whenever I'm producing more. So it's only based on the volume. Quantity is driving the manufacturing overhead cost, and we saw it in chapter 2. With the ABC costing, we are looking for only relevant cost pools. So as the result, when we are looking at the different types of the cost pools, it might be planned overhead for some instances, it might be department level of overhead costs, or it might be activity related overhead costs. So the deeper you go, the more complicated it becomes. Of course, complexity means that you need to be able to track more items. However, a lot of companies are proudly saying that transition from normal traditional costing to ABC actually in general improved their proper allocation, and as a result, managers were capable to do better planning whenever it comes to further strategies. Some of the departments, let me face it, should be closed because they are not actually adding value to the company, but because the manufacturing overhead is kind of spread out through all of the departments, you will not be able to see it. This is smoothing the performance of overall departments in the company. When we are looking at the cost pools, and yes.
Sorry, so mainly it's supporting in assuming the profitability from each product. So if
Yes,
a
yes,
product,
yes. By the end of the day, this is what we will be doing. Yes,
okay,
yes.
it's clear.
It is basically in order to manage or to measure the profit margin for every single product much more precisely than it is with the manufacturing overhead, you know, across the board.
So it's avoiding us from maybe some products absorbing a lot of overheads related to other products.
That's true. Yes, yes. More, absorbing more. Some of the products are absorbing more than it is necessary. And some of the products might be absorbing less than it's necessary. And as a result, the picture is distorted.
Okay, thank you, Doctor.
No problem. So most of the time when we are looking at the cost pools, there are usually two ways of measuring the activity. Most of the time, the companies are deciding from the beginning, looking at each one of the activity and understanding which ones are related to that particular, which costs are related to that particular activity, and determining the main cost drivers of this activity. Again, that is done based on the activity itself. Okay, so if I'm masalan doing teaching, I will be sitting and deciding what type of the costs will be related to activity developed by provided by the university related to teaching. If somebody is doing masalan accounting, they would be looking at their accounting activity and deciding which kind of costs related to running some costs might be not that much related, or some costs might be across the whole university. I mean, if the university is open, accounting department does not really occupy some certain number of electricity consumed, since the whole university is operational. But if accounting department is staying late, masalan, in the end of every single month, and consuming as a result more electricity whenever none of the rooms are running, I can directly see what would be the bill for that extra hours that accounting department spends, because it's related specifically to their activity. So the cost drivers are very much important to determine when we are doing our so-called first allocation or first measure of different types of the activities. In a lot of cases, the drivers are subdivided into two. Some of them are so-called transaction drivers, where we are seeing how many times you are completing the same task in order to offer the product for the customer. For example, masalan, in university, every single time, whenever the person is applying to the university, we are completing the activity of registration. So that's going to be more related to transactions. Sometimes it's a duration driver. Whenever we are looking at completion or time that it takes to complete some certain activity. Masalan, the student, whenever they enter the university, there will be 4 years which will need to be served by different types of the departments in order for the student to be graduated. Or in the airlines, masalan, every single time as a customer, you will be issued a ticket, which is mainly transaction. And whenever you are sitting into the plane, there will be 3 hours between the sitting into the plane and arriving to the place. That's more duration, because during that activity, there is some certain cost drivers that need to be considered in order to serve you for that 3 hours. This is from the perspective of the service. So one of the things that we will be going through in our example, we will be trying to decide which kind of activities, first of all, important. Second of all, what would be the appropriate measure for the cost driver of this activity. Most of the time, we are not going to be looking for the direct labor and machine hours, since these two are very how can I say it? They are very transparent. They are calculated by the company appropriately. Most of the time, we are not really looking for direct material and direct machine and direct labor. Those ones are the easiest ones to calculate. If you remember our discussion in chapter 2, it was mainly about yani, the gray area of manufacturing overhead to be assigned. So beware that we will look from the beginning at the direct labor, direct material and stuff like this. But when we will be walking through the process of assigning different activities as a cost drivers, calculating them one by one, we will not be using at that stages direct material and direct labor. Not because they are not relevant, because they will become relevant in the end when we are calculating appropriate costs for each one of the activities separately. Okay. And moreover, if I will be only looking at the direct hours and machine hours, I might be with the manufacturing overhead assignment, I will not be counting what exactly was used for every single product. All right, cost activity pool. There are usually 5 levels, okay? But the ones that I'm going to introduce to you right now, it's more concentrated on 4 levels, just to, because different companies are using it in the different types of understanding. But classically, our book is introducing it as unit level related activity, batch level related activity, product label, organizational sustaining, and customer related activity. So what are we talking here about? Whenever, for example, I am producing every single unit and I'm using some certain number of the machine hours, that definitely is the more machine is used for more items to be produced. Batch level activity is whenever I'm not really changing anything. For example, if I'm using some kind of I do not know, some certain maintenance after every single batch being produced. So in that case, it will not be appropriate to calculate it as a unit-based activity. It's more batch, because per everything 1,000 batches, for instance, I'm inviting my maintenance team, which is looking at the machine and making sure that it will not be breaking down in the future. Product level activity, for instance, if I'm going to be hiring a design team in order to come up with the new packaging for the certain product, or the marketing department then advertising that certain product, that's going to be more related to the entire product rather than per unit or per batch. So as a result, that the level at which we are looking at allocating that type of the activities will be directly related to how many products we're actually offering this season or this month. The lower two, organization sustaining activity and customer level activity, they are more or less not going to be counted by us. Why? Because organization sustaining activity is something that is happening overall throughout the company. It really doesn't matter which kind of product do I produce, which kind of unit, which kind of batch. Masalan, the security who is observing or protecting my factory overnight. Or for example, in order for my factory to run in the winter, I might be using some kind of heating, you know. It really doesn't matter how many batches or units I do produce. And customer related activity or customer level activity is any type of the communication to the customer. We will also not consider it. It's more or less kind of happening aside of us, unless it's directly related to our product. Whenever there is a very heavily customizable product, in that case, probably the management might be assigning this activity due to it being more important at some point of time. Okay. What I want you to understand is that whenever the company is trying to shift into ABC-based costing, it doesn't again start from the management office as a design plan. No, the management is usually proposing it, involving people, and charging different teams in order to make proper, based on their observations, giving them some period of time to observe what was the effect, and after that making decisions to either continue, change something, maybe maybe not appropriate cost allocation, cost drivers have been selected. We can always adjust it throughout, you know. There is, of course, number of examples from different types of the sectors, but it's very often advisable for the company to, first of all, try to do this exercise on their own in order to have the ownership of this task. Because by the end of the day, it's nothing but improving decision making, and quite often these decisions are going to be leading for people to receive bonuses, to receive promotions and stuff like this in the end of the day. So the teams are very much needed whenever we are trying to implement this activity. Managers by themselves will not be able to do something like this, and this by the end you will find out one of the major deficiencies actually of ABC system, the teamwork and the need of using a lot of resources, which is related to your personnel dedication, yani, but those companies which are wishing and dare to do that, they definitely see the result within short period of time. Sometimes some of the accounting books are related or looking at 4 levels, not 5 levels, but this is just on the side note for the sake of exercise that I'm going to do with you in a minute. So facility sustaining activity, it's pretty much the same as our organization sustaining activity. Product sustaining activity, all of the related to product, batch related activities and unit related activities, more or less the same story. The one that is missing here, customer related activities, which is mainly due to the fact that quite often we are leaving it to the marketing and treating it as it is the must, because this is something that marketing team does. So let us see, based on what you understood, where will be the indirect labor, indirect materials, and different types of the depreciation, taxes, utility, insurance, and so on and so forth. Any guess?
Engineering is product level.
Okay, to adjust machine tolerances. Okay, so you believe that this is a product level. Okay, let us see. Okay. Supervision for all of the job relative to size run.
I think organization.
The catch is Hannah.
It's unit.
Run. It's not size of the order.
Product.
It's a run.
For the product related, because it's the labor who's working on the line.
Okay, I will put your answer here. Material handling based on the requisitions.
Batch.
You believe that this is batch. Okay. There are gentlemen do not believe into anything today.
Units first.
Maintenance.
Unit.
Me.
Is a breakdown the unit.
Okay. All right. So you believe it's units. Okay. General cleaning.
Facility, yeah.
Utility.
Yes, but is it belonging to product sustaining, facility sustaining, batch, units?
Facility sustain.
Okay. Facility sustaining. Inspector of quality control.
Batch level.
There are 4 choices: product, batch, unit, facility sustaining.
Batch.
Batch.
I think it's facility. Product. Batch.
MashaAllah. كل ده. Indirect materials, solvents to clean the machines after every run.
Batch.
The batch
Batch.
also.
Batch.
Lubricants to keep machines running smoothly.
Facility.
I think it's unit.
Okay, we will count
Unit,
2
yeah.
answers. Equipment depreciation.
Facility.
Facility.
Unit.
So somebody saying unit, somebody saying facility. Property taxes.
It's
Facility.
facility.
Utilities.
Facility. It's very generic to decide.
And insurance.
Facility.
Facility also.
Okay. Are you ready to be surprised?
Yes.
Ready to be surprised, right?
Also.
So the first one, product, yes, correct. However, when we are dealing with the supervision for all of the jobs relative to the size run, it's a unit level. Batch was correct. Maintenance, it's related to the product because I am having some certain machine working on a certain product. So I can actually assign the maintenance team. Remember the catch with ABC, whenever the different products have very sufficient differences. So as the result, when I'm dealing with the maintenance of the different types of the equipments used for the different units, then I can actually put it into into that, especially that I know how many units machine is usually giving this specification. Sorry, the product is usually produced on a certain machines. And yes, I know how many units, but I also know that this product is produced only on these machines. With the general cleaning, it was correct. With inspection,
No, just a minute, doctor. I'm so sorry,
Yes.
but I didn't get the point related to maintenance. Why it's product?
Whenever we are dealing with the product being produced using different types of the machines.
Okay.
So again, the product is different from other products. So some of the machines are only used in order to produce this product. Some of them are not. So it is arguable. Again, you will not assign the maintenance into a product whenever the every single product is very similar to each other. So somebody like Cheetos will probably not have that as the unit, the product level. Tamam? But whenever, because the products are very similar, but whenever the products are sufficiently different, like for example, I'm making gold and I'm making silver, and for both of them, I'm using 2 different machines.
Okay, but
Like, for instance,
here I think we assumed that we are using this machine for this product only.
No. ABC system quite often is applied for those companies which are having sufficient differences in the different products.
That's why I'm saying that's unit, because the
No,
maintenance.
because okay, let me give to you an example. Based on the breakdowns. For example, my friend, she is having 2 machines. She's dermatologist. Tamam?
Okay.
One machine is used for one procedure, another machine is used for another procedure.
Okay.
As a product, your procedures or the related to face is accepted by different customers. As a result, turnover of different products is different.
Okay. So 2 different products. Yes.
Yes,
For same
completely
machine.
different products. No, it's not.
Yes.
It's not the same machine. It's 2 different machines. She cannot use, for example, plasma procedure to make you, I do not know, to remove the scars. Okay? It's 2 different products. 2 different machines. One machine is used for example, for laser thingy, and another one for the cold plasma. One is used for hair removal, one is used in order to give you face correction.
Okay.
2 different products, 2 different customers, 2 different usage, you know?
Okay. Yes.
Okay?
What if it's not
So that's
mentioned
why we
based on
said it's
breakdown?
Why what?
So let's go ahead, Amr.
Oh, you can speak. Okay, no problem.
I'm just saying that what if the maintenance without being based on breakdowns, would that make any difference? Make it based because we judge it's a units because based on breakdowns. What if there is not based on breakdowns?
No,
Would it
no, no.
still be
It's
a
not
product
about.
sustaining?
No, it's not maintenance. Not based on the. If it is maintenance overall, it will be overall. Yes, but based on the breakdowns, why it is making a difference here? Because with different products, there will be different number of breakdowns.
So
Some
this is the
products will be
reason we
more
have the
popular.
product sustaining because it's based on breakdowns. I mean, if it's a maintenance in general, would it be
If
different?
it is maintenance in general, it will be based on the units. Yes.
Okay, so maintenance just will be units based on breakdowns would be product sustaining.
Yes. Again, this part is arguable. This is just, you know, how most of the time the companies will look at it, but it depends on your specific company judgment. Tamam?
Okay.
So again, if you are making just one product or 2 very similar product with minor modification and almost similar machines, and yani breakdowns are happening with the same frequency and stuff like this. In that case, you do not have any kind of specialized team coming here, right? Because the
Right.
machines are similar. So in that case, it will be based on units.
Yes, that's the point which I was talking about. Yani.
Yes, yes,
For
yes.
me,
I mean,
it's
if it is exactly the same product used on number of the machines and machines are same, in that case, it's unit. However, if the machines are different because you need different machines for different products and the use of the machine is different, the nature of the machine is different because of the product is being different, then it will become product.
okay.
Okay. Okay. Inspector of quality control, you already said batch. Solvents to clean machinery, it's a batch. Lubricants to keep machines running smoothly, it's related mainly to the unit rather than the facility. Because you are actually making the machine to produce or to work better, to give you more output per hour with smoothing it. So it's better to count it based on the units, not based on the whole facility, because yani, it's specifically related to your output.
Maintenance.
Yes,
Save the maintenance case.
part of the maintenance, yes.
The
Equipment
general maintenance.
depreciation actually is also unit related. Some of you said unit, some of you said product, but equipment depreciation, every single different equipment will be used for particular types or production of a certain number of units. It's actually given in the specification. Property taxes is facility sustaining. However, utilities is not facility sustaining. When utilities are specifically, for example, I'm producing milk. Definitely, in order for me to produce milk, I'm using some certain amount of water, and I know exactly how much. That water is my utility. It's not actually raw material. It's a utility, which is, you know, running through the whole thingy, maybe washing the bottles, maybe used somewhere in my process. So here we are not speaking about general factory utility. We are speaking about utility which is used in the process of producing the product. That where the ABC system is looking a bit different than the manufacturing overhead. That is blindly applying everything to the to all of the products that being produced. Because if you think about it, some of the production lines are more using water than the others. Some of the production lines using more electricity than others. So whenever the company is capable to track it directly to that production lines, there will be no any problems of counting for utilities as unit related. Tamam? Yes, if I'm having the beauty salon and I'm having payment for the utilities for this salon, in that case, I would probably, even in that case, I would be looking at the unit related, because the more customers come, the more women are coming to make their hair, I will be using more water. The more women are coming just to do some kind of dermatological procedures, I will be using less water. Tamam? And insurance is facility sustaining, as you mentioned. Any problems with this table?
There are a lot of problems as to categorize each one. It's very confusing for me.
Confusion is coming based on the fact that you are not dealing with the factory by yourself on the daily basis, huh?
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Whenever you are sitting in your department, and I would ask you the question, okay, let's look at your activity. What kind of cost drivers are here? Which ones of them you can monitor and which ones you can calculate? You'll have much more clearer answer for your job task. Therefore, we are never inviting somebody in the factory out of the office of the headquarters and asking them, can you please design for us what would be a proper categories of the activity-based costings. We are doing it on our own. Of course, there is brainstorming and stuff like this, because by the end of the day, it's not about really assigning. It's about trying to allocate it to the proper level, which would be easily to be measured. Tamam?
Tamam.
Here is the examples of 3M company, which is one of the leading in the world, and they were actually changing to the ABC system, and immediately looked at that when they switched to the ABC costing system, it's showed to them problematic areas much more faster. And as a result, the managers were capable to strategically decide what to concentrate on. The same applies to Chrysler. They were starting to be more efficient whenever they started to move toward ABC costing, because the main problem, whenever we are looking at control over your cost, if you cannot measure, you cannot manage. That's the whole logic behind ABC costing, to make the measurements a little bit more customized to different types of the activities, rather than to look into products only and assign direct material and direct labor. All right. throughout the next slides, we'll be looking at the company which is called Classic Brass. It's a company which is dealing with production, with some certain parts of the yachts. And we would assume, for the simplicity, that they are only having two types of products. And of course, as any company, they are not making the documents that we will be making throughout for the public use. What we'll see as the users of their financial information, they're generally prepared income statement. Whenever everything is bundled up. So we are seeing here classical sales, direct material, direct labor, overheads, and selling administrative, whatever we saw in chapter 1. And we see that the company is operating at the net loss. However, when the managers are looking at it, this is not detailed enough information. So the starting point is that the managers want to create the teams in order to look into the posting assignments much more in detailed form, rather it is existing right now. So they were looking at different teams which are working with two different products. Again, the products are standard stanchions, let's just call it SS, and custom compass housing, whatever is related to yachts. I don't have the yacht, I'm not sure, do you or not? So they were making those two items. And when they were asking this task from the team, based on their experience, identified that there are cost drivers related to customer orders, where the certain orders are taking longer time, certain orders taking bigger time. Design changes, which is mainly related to some certain engineer working and proposing different solutions based on the request of the customer. Order size, which will be linked directly to the machine hours. Customer relations, here we are dealing with the management efforts in order to spread the news about the company, to attract more customers, to personally assisting their choices or something which is more related to management, and other. To start with, when we are looking at these 5 categories identified by this team, it might be more, by the way, but here they just decided to identify those 5 categories. What we will be looking at only of those 3 categories: customer orders, design changes, and order size, which are directly linked to our production of the 2 items. Customer relations, as well as other, we will not directly deal with them at the moment. We will be calculating them as we go. However, we will not be directly counting them whenever we are putting our cost per each one of the product. Why? Because let's face it, manager is mainly communicating to different customers, and the publicity and customer relations is not very easily to be trackable, unless you are giving a task. Can somebody please switch off the let me do it. Okay. Customer relation is more like facility sustaining, you have to do it because otherwise your company is not going to be going further. And the other, we are just basically not even going to be looking at it, something that we cannot allocate at all. So,
sorry, doctor, but I think here for customer relation, is it including something like warranty cost or something like that?
No. Customer relations is mainly maintaining relations with the customers. It's not warranty cost. Warranty cost will be directly related to our orders.
Yes. Okay.
But not in customer relations.
Okay.
It's like more or less sending to them the brochures. It's informing them about our new products. It's informing them. It's like, about our new discounts and stuff like that.
Okay, so it's not about after sales. It's totally about the communication.
This is before. before to convince the customer and stuff like that.
Okay.
All right, so every single department was given a task to accumulate the costs related to them, and product department made it, general administrative department made it, and marketing department also made it. What's the main difference between this way of looking at the income statements? We are having definitely different numbers. Yani the only numbers that are similar is related to this our 500 and 300. Related to our 510 and related to our 300. Those numbers can be found out here. Do you see 510, 300, and we are also having manufacturing overheads. So for the simplicity purposes of this activity, it's not only for simplicity purposes. Usually whenever departments are creating something like that, they do not usually include the direct material and direct labor because it's already accounted for and there is no any problem with that. There is usually a problem with manufacturing overheads and any type of the indirect non-manufacturing expenses which need to be traced. And this is why we will start to work with these documents. Don't worry that the final total overhead cost will be different than whatever was our total overhead cost in the other slide. By the end of the day, it will all reconcile. It's just us looking at it from a bit different perspective. So how to do the assignments of the cost pools? This slide is output of the teams working for this company. So yani, it's not that there is again some kind of table that you can put your activity-based costing and yani, ask yourself, if I have this, then what is my percentage? No, it's usually based on whatever information available, more or less estimations done by different teams. So for instance, the product departments estimated that indirect factory wages for the customer orders as an activity constitutes 25%. And 20% of the factory equipment depreciation will be related to the customer orders. The same story, 15, 30, 22. So by the end of the day, all of those percentages are calculated or estimated by the team. If the team decides that altogether, by the way, altogether it should be 100%, right? So most probably as a team, which is in the production department, I will be looking at my customer orders, amount of work related to the product design, order sizes, how is it driving my indirect factory wages, customer relation, and other. And I would be allocating it into the 5 categories because this is the 5 categories that I have chosen. And later on calculating what exactly will be the cost based on those percentages. Any questions here?
This numbers for illustration only, I think so, right?
This is for illustration only, yes. So most of the time you will be either given already the costs and you will need to calculate the percentage, or you will be already given the percentage and you will need to calculate the cost based on that.
Okay, because I think
yes,
I think there is some items mustn't be yani have any cost related to some of these pools.
For example,
something like factory indirect factory wages? Why it's in customer relation?
Because they assigns that somebody is washing the floor before the customer coming in order to observe, and we are going to be utilizing that. Whenever
Okay.
the customer is coming to your factory, يعني, there is a special condition created, صح?
Actually, no. يعني for me now, no. يعني many customers comes every day and
No, because you are again working, there is a very big difference of the customers or the companies which are having standardized product versus customized product. If
I'm
I'm
working
coming,
on customized now.
okay, which
In
one?
HVAC, chillers,
Yeah.
and so on. So
Mhm.
every day we have a customers in our factory and our facilities. So
Yeah.
it's the normal. So it's normal. Today we have the same procedure of working, even if we have a customer or not. So that's why I think there is no relation between this and this.
يعني, perhaps in your case not, but if tomorrow there will be a very important customer coming VIP, you will be also not having any special treatments. Please make sure that everything is clean and stuff like that.
Yes, maybe yes. That's why I said it's okay. Let's assume it's 10%. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not my assumption. I'm just trying to justify that this is assumed
Okay.
by the people working in this company.
Okay.
Okay, based on their justification, agreements, brainstorming, and they give it to the management.
Okay.
Will that be the case 100% automatically throughout an operation and using this system? Probably there will be a reconsideration, you know? Every single time, whenever we are assuming something for the first time, we need to either verify it or contradict it. So our يعني activity-based experience is going to be giving to us an answer in the long run. تمام?
Okay. تمام.
All right. So by the end of the day, this يعني Excel is filled in directly based on those percentages and based on our initial numbers that were coming from here. Remember, total indirect factory hour wages, production department reported as being 500. Since we assumed that 25% of that related to the indirect factory wages, I will just take 25% multiplied by 500 in order to get my 125. And the same story is applied across the board. If the product design takes 40% of indirect factory wages, again, 500 multiplied by 40% is going to be my 200,000, and so on and so forth. So here is nothing more or less, but multiplying the percentages that we got by our assumption with the total costs that has been prepared by every single department. Any questions here? No questions.
It's okay. Yeah.
All right. So then our goal is to compute what's going to be the rates for every single cost pool that we are having.
Doctor, may we take a break for Maghrib prayer?
In that case, we'll have to stay longer than 9 o'clock. Yeah. Okay.
Of course, it's okay for me. يعني at least for me, it's okay.
All right. 10 minutes.
Yeah, doctor, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Yes.
just 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. تمام. Hello يا جماعة.
Hello.
Is everybody back? Yes, no.
Yes, back.
Yes, doctor.
3 people.
Yes, doctor.
Okay, 4 people.
Yes, you are here. Yes.
Okay.
We are back, doctor.
Alhamdulillah.
Back, doctor.
Alhamdulillah salam. So, according to the team, again, they made the calculations how much is going to be يعني how much tasks are performed by every team. So according to the record, they found out that the customer orders were like 1,000 during a period of time. And by the way, period, usually 1 month or 1 week, it depends how are you going to be launching this ABC system at your workplace. 400 design changes has been made due to the customer requests, and this is related to our product design. The 20,000 machine hours have been used in order to create number of items, and 2,000 customers have been served. So using that information, it's very easy now to calculate how much per every single unit. This is different in comparison to our manufacturing, total manufacturing overhead divided by total machine hours only. We're actually looking specifically into every single cost driver item in order to identify what would be our per unit allocation necessary. So how do we do that? It's as easy as taking the totals. Remember this? 320 according to our calculations. Oops. According to our calculation, the total costs related to the customer orders was 320. So using the 1,000 customers, dividing 320 by 1,000 orders, we will be able to understand how much is the activity rate per every single order related to customer orders. And so on and so forth. For product design, same story. 252 was the number that is coming from this table, which is, as you remember, based on our percentages, dividing it by 400 design changes, we will be able to see that it's actually 630 per design. So those numbers from now on is going to be applied for the further processing and calculating our allocation of the costs for different types of the products. So now, direct material, direct labor, shipping costs, they were all tracked in relationship to each one of the products separately. So we know the total that was communicated to you previously, and every single department definitely has a better control on those 3. There will be no problem of us just taking it from the accounting ledgers, and after that later on assigning it whenever I want to know the total product cost in order to calculate my product margin. But this whole activity is all about this overhead. Instead of just dividing it by one number, I'm actually tracking it down for different types of the activities related to the ABC costing method. Once I did it, then I need to understand what kind of 2 products am I working with. From the beginning, we know that it's standard stanchions. Those ones are standards, do not need any customization, meaning that it's already predetermined design. So as the result, you will see the number related to the product design is going to be equal to 0, simply because I'm not designing anything. However, 30,000 units has been ordered, and 600 different orders have been completed. Every single item of 30,000, they need 35 minutes of machine hours, which is, if you will multiply 35,000 by 30,000 units, it's going to result in 17,500. Customized product that the company is offering was done in 400 orders from different types of order. Total of 1,250 orders has been produced of customized product. And they were using 2 machine hours, and the total of 2,500 machine hours has been processed. So if I'm going to be now allocating my costs to different products, remember this 320, 630, and 19, this was coming from the previous calculation based on the information that the team has. So if I'm having my customer orders at 320 as calculated by the team before, and the first product, standardized one, I'm having 400 orders of them, so my total is going to be as easy as 320 multiplied by 600 in order to result in 192. Same story applies for the customer orders. For the customized product, 320 multiplied by 400, I will get 128. So the calculations will be starting to look a little bit more complicated, but it's not. It's just using whatever we already calculated, but now tediously assigning it for different products simply because some of them are standardized, some of them are customized. And the more customization is required, the more you will have to hand or to keep a track on those extra customization costs that you have been dealing with. By the way, if you will add 192 to 128, you will get 320, which is, as you remember, was our total costs that we calculated based on the percentages. Let me just walk you through. Here is our magic number 320, matching our total cost. But now what we are doing with this 320, instead of looking at it as per department, we are actually looking at it as per the product, in order for me to see which product might be more successful than the other one. Because the situation from the beginning has been explained to you that the company is in the loss position. So the management want to make a decision what to change. Unfortunately, the general picture doesn't reveal to us all of the potential pitfalls. Same story applied for the product design. If I'm actually going to add, as I said already, for the standard product, it's a 0, 0 multiplied by 630 is 0, 630 multiplied by all of the 400 designs. See, product design was mainly working for the custom compost, and it is the most expensive activity, by the way, here. Mainly dealing with leading to the total number to be 252,000. The same story is applied to the rest. Again, we are others simply because this is more or less on the facility sustainability or facility sustaining running, not really related to every single product as it is. It's just to make a relationship with the customers or some other costs that cannot be 100% allocated. If I will add, by the way, now total cost 525 and 427, I will not get 1,810, which was my costs that were again here. If I will add all of the cost here, my customer orders, product design, order cost, relationship, and other, I will get 1,810,000. When I'm assigning it to every individual product, I will not consider again customer relationship and other. I am only considering something directly related to this particular product. So the 367 of customer relationship and 490 other costs, they are not going to be assigned here simply because it's going to be related to overall sustainable running of our company. So when I am now preparing the report for the management, I will have more clear picture. I see the customer orders, the sales on them. I see the subtotal overhead costs which are applied, and my customer relationship and others which are not assigned to individual product is going to be leading to exactly the same number that I had from our general income statement. After that, every single product developed it, every single department developed it. So now I'm having much more clearer picture. So for instance, I can see that the sales in the custom compost housing is less than standard, and actually my costs are more than on my standard. So the management already can directly see that there might be some kind of problematic area. Maybe it's better for me not to get so much into the customized design, since it's costing me so much in the extra people invited to produce this design, and it's not probably as profitable as the other one. We can actually go further with the ABC system. We can look into the profitability of every single customer in exactly the same manner. So for instance, if I'm having with one customer, which is Windward Yachts, and I want to prepare some kind of profitability analysis of that particular customers, all what I need, following the same structure as before, all what I need is to understand what kind of orders has been placed by this customer. This customer placed 3 orders. One of them was for the standard product design, and another one was for customized. However, this customized design was in need of 177 machine hours. 300 those produced by in order to fulfill that customer was in need of 175 machine hours. However, one item that I produced on the specialized order was needing 2 machine hours. So total can be created for total overhead cost distribution can be created for every single customer to that extent and to that detail. Again, yes, it sounds more sophisticated, but you know, whenever you just create a system once and after that keep tracking, all you will need to change is those assumptions that you were coming up from the beginning, and maybe sometimes recalculating those activity rates whenever some changes occurs. The system becomes very much flexible and enabling you to sometimes tell you no to some of the customers, give preference for some rather than others whenever you just look into the history of their profitability. The next stage, obviously, is to compute which products, to find out which is more profitable than another, to be able to understand what is actually the margin that is added to overall profitability of my company. In order for me to see the full picture, not only manufacturing overhead, I will need to involve my sales that has been made across the entire company. And I will need to remember at that point my direct material, direct labor, and shipping cost, which, as I already said, was not necessary until now, simply because they are very easily to be tracked, and it's accounting department usually have no problem in providing for us this information related for every single product, because it's all about quantity, unit price per every quantity that we are producing, and also shipping very easily to be tracked for every single product. So now I can actually calculate what is going to be my picture related to each one of the products. So with the sales, I am generating 2,660,000 for the standard product and only 540,000 for the custom product. When my costs are now together with the direct material and direct labor need to be added. So the total cost for the standard one is 1,700,000. The total cost for the custom one is 489 when I'm taking into consideration my direct material, direct labor, and the shipping together with all of the other overhead costs. So it's very clear that my custom compass is not a profitable niche that I am operating. So probably the management at this point, looking at this picture, needs to understand what is wrong. Either I am doing too much in regards of this, maybe to solve the problem, how to reduce the cost of the product design, or maybe to price it better. Maybe my pricing that I'm offering to the customer is not actually good enough in order to cover for me the total cost that I'm calculating, because I'm actually looking at working at my negative stream here. Any questions until now? Everybody sleeping while watching another football game, yani?
No, we are here.
You're here. Okay. Any questions?
I think it's clear, but for the customized, I think if we use the job order costs will be much better.
What do you mean by job order cost? Like calculating it before assigning the price, right?
Yes.
Yes. True, but quite often, see, the job order costing, if you are applying it from the beginning, you do not have any problem. You're basically doing the same as ABC, but from the beginning, okay? Here, this company was using the traditional method and switching into the ABC. And the reason why the management decided to do so, because they are starting to be not profitable. And the main reason to understand why we're not profitable, where is the problem area?
Yes, so here I can say that it's reactive.
Yes,
using the job order, it's proactive.
Yes. Unfortunately, yani, with the job order costing, again, you are more or less doing similar stuff with ABC costing. Because with the job order costing, you are pretty much creating for yourself the costing areas for different product before communicating it to the customers, huh?
Just totally agree. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So as a result, when I'm going to be asking myself a question, what is my product margin, which is sales minus total cost? It's very obvious that my custom compass hostings are not profitable and something need to be done. For the customer, I can also do the same calculation in order to evaluate that particular, who causing for me that. It's not only on the global level, but Also, I can go into the customer to dig information to understand which customers are actually profitable, which is not. And with our continuous example of windward yachts, they actually seem to be having a positive margin on regardless of the product that being offered. They're actually profitable customer. But here where we can ask ourselves a question, by how much do we need to become more profitable with every single customer? So I maybe try to calculate percentages, see which customers are more profitable, which not, and then maybe change my overall customer relationship activity, focusing on the certain customer niche instead of trying to satisfy all of the customers. So ABC costing is enabling you not only to realize what is the detailed way of pricing or costing of your product based on the product category, but also based on different products and different customers. When we are looking at traditional system, so the one that they were applying before, if you remember in traditional, I already said, we are assuming some certain number of hours, so machine hours, and we are just taking the general overhead and dividing it by that number of hours. So in the case of this particular company, they were taking their 1 million that was communicated to you in the very first slide related to the company, and assumption of total number of machine hours required is 20,000. So if I will be using traditional system, I will be blindly applying 1 million over 20,000, and direct material, direct labor, overhead. For the standard stanchions, I would be applying overhead 875, and for custom housings, it will be 125. Now, if I will compare, and this is wherever the advantage of the ABC costing system. With the traditional pricing, I am pretty much putting more costs on the standard stanchions because it's based on quantity, since I'm selling more. So as the result, my margin, my sales minus costs, is actually much more lower in the traditional system rather than in the appropriately assigned ABC system. And vice versa, since there is lower quantity of that customized product, I'm actually in the traditional system assigning to it less. And as a result, the margin might look better overall if it is traditional system being used. And the actual ABC system showing to me that it's not profitable product, and it's better for me to discontinue. See the difference between the reported margins. So if the management actually have the hand into this information, they will be capable to do a better decision in regards of their preferred focus of the company operations in the future. Again, why is there the difference? Simply because it's a traditional system based on volume, which is not the case with ABC, which is more based on specific cost, which is only caused by that particular product. Like when we are looking at the product design, it was not used in the standard product that the company offered, and yet, despite of that, we were just taking the total margin and assigning the total based on the machine hours of operation. So volume relatedness of traditional costing is the main reason why the answers are going to be different. Also, within the traditional costing, we are completely ruling away the selling and administrative expenses as a period expenses. However, in ABC costing, we are actually looking at special costs out of the selling, general, and administrative expenses that might be tracked. Shipping cost, for example, or the some person working on fulfillment of the order that can be tracked, for different types of the orders and batches, and as a result, enabling us to do a better allocation of the costs if you will decide to do so. So by the end of the day, it can be used for multiple purposes, for proper decisions, for deciding what to price, what should be the price, for deciding where to concentrate, which customers to concentrate, and definitely to compare. Maybe some of the departments might be better operating departments with some products, so you can actually motivate some other departments by exposing statistics related to the costing in order to encourage cost-saving initiatives within the company. So there is multiple uses of the outcomes of the ABC system for the management. Of course, there is no good without bad. The bad thing is that you cannot out of blue establish such a system. You will need some certain amount of the data collected by this point of time in order for you to first of all observe all of these costs, assume something, because assumption is not brought out of the thin air, is mainly based on observation by the ends and the expertise of people who are working in those jobs. However, more an ability to see the history. Also, the company has to put into consideration that it will take some time. And because it will take some time, you will need the resources. Those teams need constantly to collect the data and to analyze it. Definitely, introduction of ABC costing system might cause the fear of change among some of the employees, because you are actually seeing what is contributing, what's not contributing to. So it might create some tensions. So from the beginning, I said the employees need to have a buy-in, and definitely the best way to sell it to them as buy-in is that by the end of the day, those people who are actually, or those departments which are working hard, will be better off. And since we can get rid of the departments which are not contributing to the general operation. However, with that being said, with all of the advantages and disadvantages, every company by the end of the day is choosing which one is better for them for the specific setting, because it's not a must to be reported according to the ABC, according to the traditional way of costing. It's all for decision making. Do we have some time to look to walk through the example together?
Okay.
All right. So here we are having they are manufacturing two products. 14,000 of the units of product Y, 6,000 units of the product Z, and they're using plant-wide overhead rates based on the direct labor. It is considering shifting to activity-based that allocates all 684,000 to its manufacturing overhead to 4 cost pools. So right now, 684,000 manufacturing overhead is allocated only based on the total number of hours. Question 1. What is the company planned wide overhead rate? This is more or less related to chapter 2. Any ideas?
Yes, I think we will divide the overheads, manufacturing overheads, by the
Yeah.
machine's hour.
Okay.
I just need to back for the last slide to ensure they are consuming or depending on labor hours or machine's hour.
Here.
Yes. No, here overhead rate based on direct labor hours. So we'll divide the 684 by the direct labor hour.
Okay.
By 12 thousands, I think.
Yes,
you are
correct.
right.
So 57 per direct labor hour is going to be measured. How much manufacturing overhead is put into the product Y and into the product Z. Mm.
We will for product Y, we will multiply 8,000 by 57.
Okay. For product Y, we'll multiply 8,000 by 57.
4,000.
And for product Z, we'll multiply 4,000 by 57. And as a result, we will assign 456 to 128. Tamam. All right. What is the activity rate for all of those 4 activities? For machine activity. Per hour. How much is the cost per machine hour?
200,000 divided by 10,000.
Okay, thank you. It's as easy as each one of those estimated overhead costs that are given to you divided by expected activity performed in order for us to get it per hour. Why do we need it? Because by the end of the day, we will be using it when we are translating it to the product Y and the product Z. Since machine hours, number of setups, number of products, direct labor hours is different for each one of them. All right, what are 4 activities out of those? Machining, machine setups, product design, general factory. Which ones of them are batch level activities?
I think number of setups.
Okay, yes, you are absolutely correct. The machine setups is our batch level, since it doesn't matter how many units, it's actually depend on how many batches we are going to be expecting to produce. And what about the product level activity?
It's a product design.
Product
Okay.
level.
Yes, thank you very much. Product design is only related to our total manufacturing overhead assigned to product Y and Z based on the ABC system. What is your thinking in the calculations? Any ideas?
You will
Machine
multiply
hours.
the activity measure by the activity rate we calculated before.
Okay. So for machine hours, it will be what? For product Y. You do not need really to
7,000
recalculate
times
it.
20.
Okay. No, it's not 20. It was 7,000 times 200,000 divided by 10,000. Ah, yes,
So
20, yes.
20, yes.
Yes. Okay. So each one of the activity rate that we calculated, but actually we can just put it into the calculator, 50 multiplied by 100,000 divided by 200, 1 multiplied by 84 divided by 2, and so on and so forth. So for each one of the activity, the rate is 407 and 227. All right, what percentage of total overhead cost related to product Y, what related to product Z? Well, percentage wise is nothing but knowing what is the manufacturing overhead and what was for product Y and Z. We just simply divide by total. So according to the manufacturing overhead plant wise, we are having 66.7% allocated to product Y simply because it's more quantity, and 33.3% allocated to product Z. So it's just total divided by whatever is already there. Using the ABC system, what are the percentages? Again, it's as easy as knowing the total. 200 divided by 140 is going to be 70%. 200 divided by 60 is going to be 30%, and so on and so forth. Please do not be confused. As this number these numbers, they do not add up to 100, okay? They add up to 100 across. So 50 or 25% of machine setup overhead is allocated to the product Y, and 75% is allocated to the product B. So now the question, are they similar to the ones obtained in 11? Remember what we obtained in 11? We obtained that 66.7 and 33.3. So machine cost 70 and 30. Is it comparable? Yes, no?
Comparable for what? I think it's much higher for the other product.
To this. Machine cost only. And here it is manufacturing overhead.
No, of course it's not comparable.
And here we are dealing with 70 and 30. Well, if you actually think about it, they are very close to each other. 66 point whatever can be rounded to 70, roughly, right?
Yes.
They are kind of comparable because we are using machine hours,
machine,
direct labor hours, some kind of in the same type of the category. Okay.
Yes, but machine settings, it's not like that.
No, not settings, not settings. I'm talking about machining only. The
Okay.
question is only about machining, like 70 and 30. Is it comparable to 66.7 and 33? Almost, because this kind of two categories of direct labor and machine hours, they are kind of in the same category. But definitely, if you will ask the same question for the machine setup and product design, it's going to be completely different. The only one that is the same is general factory overhead. Why?
Because I think it's related to both of the products, so it's not related to ABC.
It's all about the calculation base. We said that for the general factory we're using also labor hours. And for the manufacturing overhead, we're using direct labor hours, right? So definitely they will be the same. However, the rest, yani machine set, whenever product Z is produced, I need extra machine setup. It's more complicated product, so therefore assignment of the cost is different. However, for the design, it's kind of equally distributed among them, since the team is pretty much serving two of the departments. So if I am again deciding about concentrating on some product versus another, of course there is no sales here data in order for me to see the profitability margin, but that's the next step, the last step. We need to get direct material, direct labor, sales, and after that do the total calculation in order to get our product mix margin. تمام؟
تمام.
Well, that's pretty much it. Are there
Sorry?
any questions? This is it on my menu today.
Okay, very delicious.
طب do you want to continue? I can continue.
Actually, no.
Actually, this is very far enough.
Very far enough. I hope that you were following and not sleeping.
I not to be honest, not 100%. For me, yeah, I unfortunately I wasn't able to go home.
Okay.
I took the course over mobile, but yeah, getting 60%. I will review this video again to get the full picture.
Okay. You know the best way to see if you understood it or not, go to the activities. Try to do some of the problems which are related to chapters. You will immediately see whether you need to watch it again or not.
We'll do that.
Because it's actually not complicated. There's just a lot of tables which are connected to each
Yes.
other.
No, I think it's tricky. It's look not complicated, but actually it's very complicated.
No, it's not. Wallahi, especially if you are doing it in Excel, it's
small,
not.
Small equations, small concepts. I think we need
لا, there is
100
no equations, Hannah. لا, ما فيش equations. It's a method.
It's not equation, not equation.
Actually,
like while you
all the activities are tricky. Not that one only.
not like this example.
مش عارف اقول ايه.
And I am like Muhammad. I am listening to the lecture from my mobile because I have a physician appointment, so I am not concentrating 100%.
So again, in order for you to see whether you are understanding and whether you need to go back, I truly recommend you open first activities, the exercises. Try to do them. If you are finding that I don't understand something, then perhaps go and watch it again.
Okay, we will do.
Okay.
Another question. All the Excel samples, Excel sheet samples. Do you have Excel sheet itself, or just in PowerPoint?
I am trying to get those Excels, but
yes, please.
I'm still trying.
Just try. It will be great.
Okay, Mish. I will try. Hard. Any other questions?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, and Alf Mabruk for Egyptian team winning, or did they draw?
Draw.
They draw.
Actually, they draw. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. It's great.
It's like a victory, right?
All the group draw.
Yeah.
Fourth teams withdraw 1 point.
Yeah, first match, everyone's through.
يعني the going to the end يعني. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Tomorrow is my team, by the way.
Best of luck,
Please.
inshallah.
Please cheer for Uzbekistan.
أكيد.
Hope you don't.
All right. Thank you. Bye bye, and see you on Saturday.
We will back on Monday next week.
Monday? No, it's not Saturday.
Yes, Saturday as usual. But
Yes, we'll be back on Monday. Yes. Our lecture will be on Monday. Yes.
Okay. On 6 or 7?
For me, better time is بصراحة 6:30 زي كده.
Too early. It's not. We don't have time to get home really. And at least okay. Yeah, 6:37.
6:30 in middle. 6:30 in middle.
6:45 يعني.
Doctor, is there an assignment due before next Saturday? Something?
Yes, there is a case study too.
Is it been shared or through email or something?
Yes.
I haven't seen that.
It's shared on Moodle. It's shared as a file, and it's shared description on the assignment itself. Assignment 2, case study 2.
It's due on Saturday?
We need a break from assignment so we can complete all the previous. I think.
Okay, I can make the due date to be on Monday, yani. But the problem is that on Monday I will give you another assignment.
Assignment after assignment.
Yani quizzes you didn't want. It will be only 3 assignments بصراحة.
Okay. We will do it.
We're having still 3 weeks, huh? The only reason we need to rush with the assignments is for one purpose. Because if you will be keeping working on assignments, you will not start studying for the exam. I want to be done with the assignments for you to concentrate on studying for the exam.
Okay.
تمام?
تمام.
تمام دكتور شكرا. Thank you.
If you want me to extend and
No, I think it dropped. We didn't hear
Saturday
what
or Monday?
Sound is not clear for me, so can you please repeat?
I said I don't mind if submission deadline will be moved from Saturday to Monday.
No issues, it's okay.
Perfect.
So everybody agree to move it from Saturday to Monday?
Thank you, but we will do our best to finalize before Monday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. And I'm going to open the chapter now for you to be able to see.
The recording, please, if you can push it for today or tomorrow, I think.
Inshallah, because the recording is not shared by me, it's shared by Maha, and I'm sure that she is doing yani on-time job. Yani.
Okay.
I will let you know. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you very much, and have a good beginning of the weekend. Sorry, Thursday is already the weekend.
Yeah, we have a long weekend to study.
Weekend. Yes.
Long weekend to study, not to travel or make
for
any
study,
activity.
yes. We have a vacation for studying.
Yes, I don't believe you guys.
This is the only contest. This course, destroy our timing. You don't have any time off.
Yes, but it's always whenever you are studying, wallahi. You know, my husband was giving me a hard time. Why did I accept to teach this course? And now I'm feeling myself like, why بصراحة I did it to myself. Anyways. All right يا جماعة.
Thank you.
I told
Thank you,
him
Doctor.
because of my students I agreed. He told me okay ماشي طب يعني خلاص go and stay with your students. All right.
No.
Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.